look, it's recording.
Oh, we're here.
Intro thing. Hi. Welcome to the MCU Review, where I, Liz, and her,
Sarah,
watch and review movies from the MCU.
Who would have thought?
It's almost like that rhymed.
Oh, good. Like it was completely planned.
Yeah, obviously it was made up on the spot just now.
I guess, I don't know if you've seen the first episode, so we're going.
It's the intro thing.
I don't know if you've seen the intro, but you should check that out.
Yeah, it gives you a little information on, what's going on here. If you haven't seen it, or, heard it, you could also look at it if you want to. But mainly it's a podcast, so you listen to it.
You use your ears to the equivalent of your eyes seeing.
Really? Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's how human anatomy totally works.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I'm not a human. I don't know what I am.
Oh, you also remembered.
I'm an Asgardian, so.
I am strictly human. Plain and boring.
Okay. Well, this is the first episode minus the intro thing.
Yeah.
And we, of course... First official episode.
Where we actually watched a movie.
We are watching the movies in the order they came out. So this week, as the first episode, it was obviously the first movie of the first phase, Iron Man. So I think we should start at the very beginning. I find that it is a very good place to start.
I could sing a song about that, but I'm not going to.
I get that reference.
I get that reference.
Okay, so first off, so the start of the movie.
Yep.
First thing might we mention, I was like, I'm gonna get a notebook, and I'm gonna, like, take notes of, like, the movie, and then Sarah's like, hey, that's a good idea, and got a notebook.
Well, no, technically, if you can't, Elizabeth can see, but this is a beat-up notebook. It's quite old, but I haven't used it.
Yeah,
that much.
But you decided to take notes on the movie, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I was like, that's a good idea. Because a lot happens in, 2 hours and 6 minutes?
Yeah, 2 hours and 6 minutes, a lot.
All of that would have gone out my mind. 3 pages that I wrote? It's a small notebook.
So the first thing we see of Tony Stark, he is sipping on an alcoholic beverage.
As one knows, that's his...
he's an alcoholic.
Yep.
So the first thing I wrote down is already alcoholic. It's just the first thing I have, already alcoholic.
Mine is, Back in Black is basically his theme song. Because I saw that, I was like, Musicana is good in this music. And I was like, wait, that's his theme song.
I'm sorry, did you just say Musicana is good in this music?
Probably. I probably did. Musicana is good in this movie. I call music Musicana.
I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with you calling a movie music.
I'm sorry.
What's the second thing you have written down in your...
He asked for a gun, but does he, even know how to use it? Because he's just like, wait, give me the gun. We have not once seen him shoot a gun. Does he know? Does he know? I need to know these facts.
First up, he's the owner of a weapons company.
Yes,
I think he knows how to shoot a gun.
That doesn't mean... You could be an owner of, I don't know, of...
Cupcake factory and not know how to make cupcakes.
Yeah!
But the thing is...
He was inherited, so he doesn't necessarily have to... He just has to know how to run the business. He doesn't have to know the logistics of,
I think anyone who, served in World War II...
Did he?
Yeah, his dad was, an engineer in World War II.
Yeah, that was his dad.
Yeah. And so I think anyone who served in World War II and, worked heavily in guns might teach their kid how to shoot a gun.
It was just a thought I had. It was does he even know how to shoot a gun?
Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I bet he learns, or at least has a machine that knows how to do it.
He has a fire extinguishing machine?
Yeah, Dummy is the best. Okay, if you don't remember, he has a robot he named Dummy that has a fire extinguisher. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
The first thing the second thing I wrote was when it started, like, so they were doing, like, a speech, and it was like, Tony Stark should be here to accept this award, and it's like, why didn't they use his full, like, his name is, like, Antonio something Stark, and Sarah didn't know that, so he wrote, Sarah didn't know Tony was short for something.
No, I just thought maybe, as one does, that's his name. Yeah, I also was like, what the frickety frack is his real name? Full name after. I was like, how old is he? He's older than 21, but like, how old is he? I'm gonna Google his full name.
Oh, and like, so when we saw Pepper, do you have like something before when we saw Pepper?
His reward that he got, he just handed it to some random guy, so it's like probably still out there, to the up-to-date, like, Infinity War kind of thing. It's probably still out there. This guy probably dressed as Caesar once, was like, this is the award I got from Tony.
He dressed up like Caesar, and then he said, what is Caesar's goes back to Caesar, or something like that.
Yeah.
Something about Caesar. Because he handed it to a dude dressed like, Caesar, the Roman Emperor, not the salad.
Anthony Edward Stark.
Okay. Sarah did not hear what I just said.
No, I didn't. I was too busy Googling.
I said Caesar, someone dressed up like Caesar, the Roman Emperor, not the salad.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to Google that separately.
Okay, we'll find that out at another point in time. Sarah, stop looking up how old he is. Instead of doing what I said, Sarah continues to quietly Google.
It doesn't tell you. Appears to be in his 20s, so he'd be in his early 50s. Oh, that's his dad. It's not even telling me.
Here's a bit of trivia, Sarah. Do you remember what his dad's name was?
Nope.
It's Howard.
Okay.
I remember random bits of fact.
I can't even remember names.
Well, I like Captain America, and you don't seem to care about that. And his dad's a character in Captain America, so.
I don't know. I'm not good with names.
Captain America, anyone? Fondue. Do you have anything before we saw Pepper on screen?
That was it.
What?
That was
He handed his
award
thing
to some random dude, and is probably still out there to this day.
So if we're to where we saw Pepper, when first we saw Pepper, Sarah's like, Penny Potts!
Hey, I got the P right. As I said earlier, I don't know names.
So yeah, Sarah doesn't know that Pepper's name is Pepper, not Penny.
I did it twice in the movie.
Yeah, she did it twice. And then there's when...
And one was in the beginning, one was near the end.
Yeah. You didn't learn.
I did not learn from my mistakes.
I think we should, say, what happened in the movie and then go through, our list of things. It starts off, he's in the Humvee.
Yeah, Humvee.
I know it's a Humvee because he said it's a Funvee.
It's
You
a
have
Funvee.
You have to be back there in the, Humdrumvee.
Yeah.
So he's in the Humvee, and then they're talking and whatever. Explosion. He runs away, tries to call for help. There's a bomb with Stark Industries on it, blows up.
And then it's 36 hours earlier.
Yeah, no, you see he's bleeding. But
Yeah.
then it's 36 hours, and it's does narration, blah, 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 reward. He didn't accept the reward. Oh, well, we meet Obadiah Stane, who's this dude who, was partners with Howard Stark. Whatever. Casino scene, hands the trophy off. That reporter who was... Oh, you were that line works?
Yeah, I was like, oh, that line works.
Essentially, Tony's like, hey, she's like, do you not lose any sleep over this? And he's like, I'm being willing to lose a few hours of sleep with you. And then Sarah's just like, oh, that worked?
Yeah, I was like, that worked? And then we show up and, Jarvis is, telling her about, the weather and all that. I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't know how much I missed Machine, from the heavens Jarvis and not, Vision Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I miss him so bad.
Same actor, though. So.
Yeah, same actor, but, like, I miss, like, the voice just being like, hello, this is what we're doing today. That's what I miss. And then, afterwards, she gets up and she meets, like, Pepper.
Yeah.
And then, Pepper's like, I do whatever Tony wants me to do. Like, take out the trash. And right there, I'm like...
The reporter was like, oh, you're still getting his dry cleaning. And she's like, I do whatever Tony needs me to, including taking out the trash, implying that she's trash.
Yeah, and then I was like, she should have taken out the trash. I was like, picking her up and just pushing her out.
For a second, I thought you meant taking her out on a date.
Yeah, taking her out on the date. Tony didn't treat you well enough, did he? I'm taking you out. At night on the town.
Even though it's morning?
Yeah, even though it's morning.
Hey. So then we see, you know, he gets on the plane, blah, blah, blah.
Right there, I'm like, it's a rave party plane.
Yeah, okay, Rhodey's like, there's, like, no way, like, I'm not drinking any of your fancy smancy booze. And then it immediately cuts to them both being drunk on the plane, and it's, like, a rave party on the plane.
I'm like, Tony got a rave party plane.
Yeah. You know, whatever. He's attacked. He's blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah. That's how the movie goes. Blah blah blah.
He does like a demonstration for the army. He gets kidnapped. There's this dude. He's really nice. I wrote down his name. We'll talk about him later. Oh. He dies, but he helps Tony build the Iron Man suit. Tony busts his way out, breaks the suit. That's important. Remember that. I think he, like, hit the ground. So this dude, okay, I'm just gonna say this. The dude, what was his name?
The main bad?
Jensen was, like, he died and he's like, Tony, live. And then, Tony, like, goes out and he, like, and, like, all of the stuff's happening, and he, like, flies away, and then he crash lands, and the suit is just, like, decimated, and then...
So right now we're just summarizing?
Yeah, we're just summarizing. And he's like, and he just, like, lies back for a second, and Sarah's response was, I'm sorry, Jensen, I'm gonna take a nap for a second.
I know we did all of this planning and all of that, but, like, nap time's important to me. Sorry, Jensen.
Then a helicopter saw what was going on. They saw Tony and they're like, hey.
That's Tony.
Yeah, we're picking you up.
Anthony Edward Stark.
Tony's like...
Up in this business.
Yeah. Tony's like, I want a burger. Then he goes to a press conference and he says, like, we're not making weapons anymore. Everybody goes crazy. Sarah, do you want to do some summarizing? Everybody goes crazy when they're like, no.
What are you gonna do if you're not doing weapons? And Tony's like, I don't know. Gonna figure it out.
He calls Pepper into his basement dungeon lab place.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he's like, Pepper, you have small hands, right?
Please do, like, minor surgery on my heart by pulling out some wires and shoving something else in. It's fine. I swear. I'm gonna live.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't think you are. And he's like, don't worry about it.
And then the first reactor, he's like, throw it away, and Pepper keeps it.
Pepper walks off and has this look of, I have other plans.
Yeah. Then, stuff happens. I forget around this point in the movie.
Hold on. I might have a note. What, I have Pepper...
Oh, he's like, they're like, lay low. He works on the suit a bit. He takes it... Oh, this is the part with Dummy. He like, tests out the suit. He tests out the suit, has, like, a little video camera set up to be like, this is the first test thingy. Flips into a wall. Hits the wall, falls down, and then Dummy, the robot in charge of, like, the fire extinguisher,
is like...
just activates the fire extinguisher when not needed.
Tony later gets really mad and is like, I'll give you to a city college
if you do
that
that
again.
When there's no fire.
Yeah, except way later in the movie, he does it again. and doesn't get.
No, it's really really shortly after that because he
crashes.
Yeah.
He goes for a test flight, and then he's like, okay, we're landing. Crashes through.
Yeah, and then Dummy's just like, obviously there's
Dummy's
a fire
like right
here.
there going, ish.
He crash landed right next to he crash landed on one of his cars, and then Dummy was right there and just like.
Also, known fact about his cars, he numbers them.
Yes, he has on his license plate it says Stark and then whatever number his car is. So we see Stark 4 and Stark 5.
I think Stark 3 was destroyed.
I don't know.
Because it wasn't Stark 4 and it wasn't Stark 5.
Yeah.
So it's either 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah. After that, there's like a party and Tony and they're like, we don't know if it was like his like Stark Industries party, and they're like, we don't even know if Tony's gonna show up, and he's like, Jarvis, did I get an invitation to that?
And Jarvis is like, nope,
not on record.
And so he's like right now like painting his suit, and so he's like, Jarvis, do what you do. I'm gonna go crash a party.
Oh no, but he says, how about Hot Rod Red? And Jarvis is like, very conspicuous, sir.
Of course,
Sassy.
when going under the radar.
One must need to be Hot Rod Red.
Yeah. And I have a note here. I have a lot of notes we skipped, but we'll get back to those.
Yeah, well,
Jarvis has sass.
We're gonna go over the notes in a
minute.
minute.
He was programmed with sass.
We'll go over the notes in a minute. I just want to get like a summary of the movie if we like don't have it all written down in our notes. So yeah, what happened? He goes to the party, sees Pepper. She's in a dress. Woot, fancy. They dance. He goes
to get her a drink. And never comes back.
And then the newspaper lady's just like, "Hey, what the heck? Thought you were gonna stop selling weapons." And he's like, "I thought I had." And then he goes
like, pictures, and he's like, "This is all wrong."
And then he goes to Obadiah, and he's like, "You were the one who did this, aren't you?" And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, you caught
he's like,
me.
I'm,
ha, 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 ha."
It's like, I'm not denying, but I'm not telling you. I definitely did not.
Yeah.
I was under your father, and I'm tired of being under someone.
Blah, blah, blah. Stuff happens. Essentially, we see that Obadiah, the dude who is partners with, Howard. He was partners with Howard, and he, like, actually was the one who hired the dudes to
Are you just calling this guy Howard?
No.
Is that his real name?
Howard is Tony's dad's name.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was like...
Obadiah. He was partners with Howard. Obadiah was the one who was like, hey, dudes, kidnap this dude, kill him, whatever, do what you do. All of that stuff. And then Obadiah goes and he kills them all. He takes their, like, suit that they had, the suit that Tony had made, and they had, like, reconstructed it from, like, the pieces they found in the desert and, like, the plans that he had. Yeah, and then Obadiah takes it and he's like, my best men working on this, ha 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 ha.
Except they run into a problem where they can't power the suit.
They can't power the suit. Cause
like, we don't have the technology, and Obadiah's like, but we do right here, just make it smaller, and they're like, Tony could do it, so why can't you? And he's like, I'm not Tony, and so he goes, I have a plan, and walks away.
And he goes, and he, like, essentially does this thing that makes it so Tony can't move, takes the arc reactor, and puts it in the suit, and then he's like, boom, I'm now a cool, super weapon-powered person, and Pepper finds out, before,
his friend.
Yeah, Pepper, at one point, does this, like...
It's like, she went into an office and discovered some information.
On Tony's request.
Yeah, on Tony's request. She originally didn't want to do it, but she did it, and she found out information that he's building a suit. I was going to go and stop him, but during this time, Tony was getting his heart stolen, basically.
No, that's because Obadiah was in the office, remember?
Yeah, but, like, after like, she's going to get this suit.
And... When we found out that Obadiah was the one who did the kidnap Tony plot, was when Pepper was, like, stealing all this information. Because she's a hacker, not really. But
not really, she's using this thing that Tony gave.
Yeah.
He's like, here, do this. And she's like, yeah, that's easy. but she doesn't do it correctly. She's like super suspicious. She's like, oh, people are gonna catch me. That's not how you do it. I have notes on that later. It's fine.
And then, blah, blah, blah. Tony, like, goes down to the lab, and he, like, oh, you know when we said that Pepper, like, kept the thing? She gave him, like, a little gift box, and it was the original arc reactor, and it was, like, proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
It was cute.
Yeah, and then Tony Stark goes to get it, and he reaches up, and he can't grab it, because
he's weak, he's dying,
yeah.
Cardiac arrest.
Because he doesn't have the arc reactor.
Just save the metal.
Yeah, I don't know if we said that. If you don't know Iron Man plot, we're not that good at summarizing it. You should have seen the movie by now.
Look up the Wikipedia if we're not sufficient enough.
Blah, blah, blah. And then he's just laying there, and then Dummy, like, hands it to him.
Dummy's like, here you go. And I was like, Dummy's back at it again.
I wrote Dummy to the rescue.
Dummy to the rescue.
Then, blah, 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 he gets in the suit, they fight. He's like, Pepper, go do this thing, and then, blah, blah, Pepper, do this thing.
Pepper saves the day, basically.
Tony gets the snot beaten out of him. Then you smudged that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Tony gets the snot beat out of him. Pepper did the thing, but she's like, get off of the roof. And he's like, just do it. And he's like, you told me not to do it. Just do it. Just don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it.
He spent the next, 3 hours just saying that speech, and the other guy's like, I don't know what's going on.
We might have paraphrased a bit. Plot twist, Tony Stark is played by Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. Just I got it, guys. Way before this meme was a meme. He was like, I got this.
And then Pepper does this thing. Obadiah is, standing on top of the thing, and so he dies. And then it seems like Tony's dead, but then, oh, wait, he has, more movies to be in. And that, because his, arc reactor's flickering. It's like, boosh.
And then,
press conference.
Phil is like, just follow the cards. Follow the cards. And he's like, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. And then he goes to a press conference and he's like, I am Iron Man.
He starts to follow the cards and then he's like, I am Iron Man. And his friend is like, oh gosh, dang it.
The reason it was Rhodey, who Sarah didn't know was replaced by a different actor. But the newspaper headline was like, who is the Iron Man? And it's like, I am Iron Man. And then in credit scene, and Nick Fury's like, you just stepped into a whole new world. And I'm like, the MCU. Yeah, so that's our summary of the movie. Or mine, and Sarah's plot points added in when I forget them. And now, over notes. A review of the notes.
Notes. We already did the...
We got to, my number 4.
Mine and there was one moment he was like, Tony makes his chest a rave, like it's played, but he makes it, he's like, yeah, it's not rave party enough. There we go.
Essentially the arc reactor, according to Sarah, wasn't shiny enough, so he upgraded it.
And then, right after that I have, what do you think?
Yeah,
Simply Nailogical. If you don't know, guys, go check her out. She's on YouTube. It's great.
I think people who have found this podcast would know about Simply Nailogical by now.
They should. It's amazing.
So at the beginning of the movie, when Pepper and Tony are talking before the arc reactor, before he leaves, Pepper's telling him about this thing, and she's like, I think it's way overpriced. And Tony's like, I need to buy it.
Buy it. And then Penny smiles as if she just played him. It's great.
In my notes, I have Jensen equals Tony friend.
I got just Jensen. Because I had a thought it was too much to write down, but to date with the movies. Do you think he still remembers Jensen?
I would hope so.
I want to know, but I hope so.
Yeah.
Because Jensen was the start of all of this. Without him,
there's no Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man wouldn't exist.
I wrote, there was Tony was doing something with the arc reactor, and in my mind it was I wrote Chony So just like clips of Tony, and then from The Wizard of Oz, if I only had a heart. So that might be on This Is Actually Editing, so look for that.
So I also have what was on the list of his materials, because he's like, just give us a list and we'll give it to you. And I was like, he gets like this cool hat, like this beanie. It's like super fashionable. He gets a great tank top, and then he gets like a leather jacket. Like, how did he get all of that? Like, what was his justification? Like, he's in the middle of nowhere, and he's like, I need a leather jacket.
In my notes, the bad guy storms in, and Sarah says about the bad guy, he has a nice head. He has a nice bald head. I bet he shines it.
I bet he shines it. I was like, I need to know if it's the actor that's bald, because I want to know, how does he get it so shiny?
You will find that a lot of the things I have written down is quote Sarah says.
I say a lot of just weird things. I love it.
Oh yeah, Tony, after returning to America, he's like, first cheeseburger. He says cheeseburger first. He's like,
I need you.
Yeah, Pepper's like, we need you to like get to the hospital.
And he's like, no, press conference and cheeseburger. Cheeseburger first, as he looks towards the
Happy.
Yeah.
His chauffeur.
Yeah.
When they're at the press conference, it's Phil Coulson shows up, and I just have Phil written.
I was like, Phil's in the first MCU? Because I completely forgot. I was so excited.
I have an exclamation point next to Phil.
I got 3. Phil is in the first MCU, 3 exclamation points. Because that's all the time I had before I was like, had to write something else down.
Tony, there's a point where he's like working on something, and Pepper's like, what are you doing? I thought you said no more weapons. And he's like, it's harmless. And then, like, boom.
He like lifts his hand up and he's like, see? And then it's like a laser that comes out of his.
I have boom in parentheses.
Boom. Also, they show a scene where they go back to them with the suit and all of that, because this is going on at the same time. And I was like, he should have burned because he had flamethrowers on his hand.
Yeah, she's talking about in the like cave system where he was like kidnapped.
Yeah, he had flamethrowers on his hands, so I was like, he should have burned everything he could, so they didn't. But I guess he wasn't thinking.
He was probably more concerned about Jensen.
He's like, Jensen, Jensen.
I have in my notes, dummy, just dummy.
Dummy.
Referring to the robot, not calling anyone an idiot. I have proof that Honey Stark. Who's Honey Stark?
Honey Stark. It's his cousin. Honey.
He's from Boston.
Yeah, he just, sells pizzas. It's fine. Stark Pizzas. And I'm like, is this with, like, Stark Industries? He's like, no. This is me. Honey Stark. I got pizzas. He doesn't know anything about Tony.
Proof that Tony Stark has a heart, which we talked about that earlier.
That was cute.
I have Phil with exclamation point again.
Phil shows up twice. Heck yeah. And then I have OTP starts.
Oh yeah, because they're at the dance and
then
they almost kiss.
Yeah, and that's when he walks off. I was like, OTP.
Tony shoots windows. Sarah, he really doesn't like his reflection, starts singing. When will my reflection show who I am inside?
It's just a really weird thought I had during all of that.
There's, when Tony flies to wherever the place is that people are being like...
And then does all the saving.
Tony goes to a place, there are bad guys, he beats them up, whatever. After that, he goes to a different place, and there's a tank. And the tank, like, shoots at him. And then Tony shoots something at the tank, turns around, starts walking away, and then the tank explodes.
Cool, guys. Don't look back.
That could cause a sound interference.
Right.
Sarah was, like, knocking something against the desk.
I'm sorry.
I just don't want the people to be annoyed by the sound. Okay. I have no problem with you doing that.
And then afterwards, he has to, like, escape from, like...
What's going on?
He has to, like, escape from, like, the fire jets. like the weird stuff. And then afterwards, they come up with the excuse of, it's just a training exercise, and the guy, like, disses it. He's like, no! And yet he does it anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did you diss it if you're gonna do it anyway?
Rhodey is just like, what am I supposed to tell the press? And Tony's like, you normally just say it's a training exercise, right? And then he's like, that's stupid. And then Rhodey
Cuts to scene
of Rhodey being like, an unfortunate training exercise. There's blah blah blah. Plane blew up. Oh yeah, and Tony saves some dude's life.
Saves many dudes' lives. Oh yeah, you mean the one where
with the parachute? Yeah.
He punches something and it's like, and they're like, woo! Yeah. Also, this is the point where Pepper goes in and, like, walks into the thing and she's looking around. She's acting super suspicious. And I was like, she should have just pretended she was an assistant, like she was doing assistant stuff, as one does when they're assistant to Tony Stark going to their office. That's what she should have done. No one would have questioned. She should have just been, like, typing things up and, like, printed something so it would have been easier. But no! Why?
In my notes, it says Sarah calls her Penny again.
I did.
Yeah.
So this is when it's revealed that who was
Obadiah.
Obadiah was, like, really the super bad guy. And I was like, why does the bad guy have to have a good beard? It goes to waste. Like, bad guys shouldn't have fabulous beards. That should be a rule.
I also have that written in my notes. I can quote you exactly. It's, why does he have to be a bad guy? His beard is fabulous.
Yeah. Good, bad guys don't deserve good beards. It should be known, is what I have written down. The full thing is, why does the bad guy have to be evil?
Why does the bad guy have to be evil?
Yeah, why does the bad guy have to be evil? His beard is fabulous. It's going to waste. Bad guys don't deserve good beards. It should be known.
It is known.
It is known. That's what the last, yeah.
That is a Game of Thrones reference that I don't get because I've never seen Game of Thrones. Sarah knows a lot about Game of Thrones.
It is known. And then this is the part where we noticed that Stark numbers his cars.
Yes, Stark numbers his cars.
And then Fire Extinguisher saves the day by giving him his heart.
His name is Dummy.
I didn't know that. I'm sorry. So I wrote Fire Extinguisher saved the day.
I have Dummy to the rescue, so.
Dummy to the rescue. And then after that, like, Phil Coulson goes in to be like, help arrest the suit thing. And I was like, Phil helps arrest by blowing up the lock. And he's like, dang it! Pepper's like, hey, it's locked. My card isn't working. Help. And he's like, yeah, I got this. He sticks the bomb on the door. And she's like, oh, what is this? Is this gonna unlock it? And he's like, yeah, sure, but you're gonna wanna back up. And turns her around, and it just holds her there. And it blows up, and she's like, oh.
The next thing I have is when, like, it's during the battle. So do you have anything between now and then?
Yes. Stark doesn't have time to fix holes, apparently. He has time to build suits, but not fix the holes that he made when he crash landed.
I mean, I don't really think he cares.
And then I have, like, the cliche...
What happens if it rains?
Yeah, what happens if it rained?
Also, his driveway is, like, just a spiral downwards into the basement lab thing. What happens if that rains?
Yeah, there's no... What if it floods? Because there's no, like... We didn't see, like, a door or anything.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's a door. Maybe we don't know. But I want to have a long conversation with the architect of this house.
And then I also have the cliche of jingling chains when you...
Like, bad guy approaches?
Yeah, bad guy approaches, like, jingling chains, and you're like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing now.
Tony said to Jarvis, okay, so, like, the original arc reactor wasn't supposed to, like, last however, like, a long time. And, like, he's like, okay. This, like... Tony, the original arc reactor wasn't supposed to last that long, but he's using it because, you know, otherwise he'll die.
Okay.
And Jarvis keeps on saying, you only have so much percentage left. And at one point, Tony's just like, just put the percentage on the screen and stop telling me. And I have written, AKA, Jarvis, just shut up.
I have right there is Tony is the human version of never tell me the odds. Because he's like, just shut up. He's like, you have like a, 30% chance of actually doing this. He's like, shut up. Don't tell me the odds. And I was like, this is basically the entire movie of don't tell me the odds. Yeah.
Mine is after when Phil is talking, so you're out of anything between now and
I have when he's like, they're on the roof and he's talking to Penny. So that's what I have.
What does he say?
It's, when she's like, he's like, I got a distraction. And she's like, okay. And then his distraction was use pull wires. Distraction is super effective. He just goes whoosh. And then I think, yeah, and that's it during the fight.
So Phil was saying, it's not my first rodeo. And Sarah said, it's not his second either.
Yeah. And I have just college shield. Because she just, Pepper.
Yeah, she started saying, like, Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement Logistics Division.
And he stops her halfway. He's like, just call a shield. And walks away all cool. And then Pepper gives Tony a pocket square. It's great. I love it. She's just like, and here you go. Now go off, my little destroyer.
Sarah's actual words during that were, I have noted that too. Sarah's actual words were, "Aw, she gave him a pocket square."
Yeah. And then they whisper, like his he's doing the press conference. He starts to deviate from the cards, and his friend Rhodey, like deviates from just whispers to him. And I was like, I bet that whisper was stick to the gosh dang cards. Yeah, that's fine.
The end line of the movie, not counting the end credits scene, is, the truth is, I am Iron Man.
Iron Man. And then the end credits near the 2 hours and 6 minute mark, I got the Avenger Initiate starts right after. Like, wow, I didn't know that. I apparently didn't see the end. It wasn't known that there were end credits during the time. And I didn't know that.
I just have end credits Fury. Because, Nick Fury can do whatever the gosh darn heck he wants to.
And then, because I never want to forget, I just added Anthony Edward Stark.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know his real name.
I would like it noted that halfway through writing these notes, I found out that I have, my notebook is upside down, and I've been writing in the very back of it. I would like, Sarah, would you please confirm my statement?
You did, because the date's on top, and then when you're writing, it's on the bottom, upside down.
Yeah. So, I would like it to be known, everyone makes mistakes, and my mistake was, I wrote in this notebook upside down.
So now you're going to have to keep it like that.
Yeah. Just
forever and always.
Keep myself on my toes.
My notebook has a hello on top of it, so I know which way it is.
Mine just has polka dots.
Also, during the movie, I started numbering my pages so I could have a table of contents, basically. So I could just flip through and be like, yeah, okay. In case I ever, for some reason, wanted to look back. Like, I don't know, when I'm 50 years old, like, oh, I remember we did a podcast about MCU Reveiw.
I would like...
I'm 50 years old, I'm probably going to be insane.
And probably... I like that you assume you'll be insane by the time you're 50.
Probably. I mean, have you met me now?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be super insane. Oh, yeah, I should probably also put that in my... But I don't have anywhere to put it. I do.
Right before E, except after C. I just wrote MCU Reveiw, and I have to remind myself of that every time.
Woo.
Anywho.
Woo!
Woo! Anything in closure, Sarah?
We watched a movie.
Yes, we watched a movie, Sarah.
It was great.
Is there anything else you would like to add about the movie?
No.
What movie are we watching next week?
The Incredible Hulk from 2008.
Yeah,
Which one was... This was also 2008.
Iron Man came out in May of 2008,
Okay, so
and
I'm right.
The Incredible Hulk came out in June of 2008.
This pen sometimes doesn't like to write. 2008, May?
Yeah, May.
Okay. I guess afterwards I can write Hulk. The
Incredible Hulk. Not just any Hulk, The Incredible Hulk.
Hulk. June?
June 2008.
2008, June.
Because even though some people don't consider it a part of the MCU, technically it is, and so technically we have to watch it.
Yep, we can't skip any movies just because we don't like them. Or we think we won't like them.
Yeah, we haven't seen it, so who knows? Maybe it could be the best movie in
our opinion.
Maybe it could be the best movie in the MCU. Who knows?
We'll find out.
Next time on MCU Review. Jinx.
We got off topic.
Yeah, so you've reached the end of the podcast. Sarah, do you think people can find you anywhere else?
They can find me on YouTube as The Sarah Way. You can also find me on Instagram.
I am Liz is Actually Magic. You can find me at the YouTube channel Liz is Actually Magic or the Instagram of the same name. You can also find me on another Instagram account called Liz is Actually Editing, where I edit stuff.
It's great. I love it.
This is the end of the podcast, and it's our first official episode. If you haven't seen the intro and are dying to hear our voices and not see our faces, well, check out the intro episode. Or you could go just play YouTube videos and not look at our faces.
Yeah, that's also part of it.
You could do that if you just didn't want to see our faces, but hear our voices.
There's a lot more videos on Liz's.
Yeah, Sarah doesn't upload videos that often for some reason. I don't know why.
I think there's actually a video up right now.
Yeah.
At the time this comes.
There should be a more recent video, possibly a part 2 of a different video, though.
I don't know. We're about to find out. I don't manage my... Okay, he lied to me. It's fine. It's fine.
Sarah's boyfriend lied to her. She is offended.
Do I have notifications for my... I do. Okay. I should know when it comes up.
Okay. So, yeah, end of the podcast. See you next week when we watch...
The Incredible Hulk.
This will be fun.
Oh, goodness.
Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone.